witches, it's Tiffany. Welcome to another video on my brand new channel. Today I want to talk about correspondences. Correspondences, for those of you who don't know, are material and non-material items that correspond with certain types of energy and intentions. I would say that's a pretty good definition. So for instance, numbers, colors, scents, crystals, herbs, animals, zodiac, moon phases, zodiac, you get the point. In this video, I have 3 points that I want to make about correspondences, and then I also want to kind of give you an overview of what this book is about, and because I highly recommend it, I think it's a very helpful tool. First of all, correspondences are very, very confusing when you start out because there are so many books about them. And a lot of them are so wildly different. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there are certain things that are kind of the same across the board. A lot of times you're gonna see red corresponds with passion, purple corresponds with intuition and psychic power. But at the end of the day, no two correspondence books are the same. And that gets really confusing because how do you know that what you're doing is, right? Long answer short, there is no right or wrong in witchcraft, of course. But having multiple books that you're trying to learn the same thing from gets really confusing. And you also end up spending a lot of time and money on a lot of different books. I know that with certain traditions or paths or faiths, some things are going to be the same in that path, like no matter what book you look at. Like I already said, some things are the same across the board. But if you're an eclectic like me, that doesn't necessarily work, because what might be a correct correspondence in one type of spell may not be a correspondence in another type of spell. And this kind of takes me to my second point. If you buy a spell book and it tells you, this spell requires this, this, and that, and you don't understand why one of those items is being used, then what purpose does it serve for you and for empowering your magic and your spell and your work? For instance, I see a lot of self-confidence spells or glamours that use the color red. The color that, in my mind, leads me to internal power, confidence, is royal blue. If I just replace that thing for another, does it screw up the spell that another person wrote in this book? I don't know. So my third and final point before I get to the actual book review and why I think this will be a useful tool for you is, yes, if you want to look something up, and this will also tie into kind of what I have to say about the book, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but if you want to look something up, that's fine, and I'll get to that later. But use what speaks to you. It's your magic, it's your spell, it's your intention, it's the thing that you're trying to manifest. The tools that you're using should work specifically for you. Like I said earlier, if I was doing a confidence spell, I would use the color royal blue. And if I was doing a money spell, a lot of money spells call for green, and that's perfect. That's, for me, I live in the US, yes, green correlates to money for me, that's perfect. But then also, a lot of them call for gold, which I get. But we don't actually have any currency that's bright, shiny gold. It just doesn't always quite link up for me in particular. Silver, sure. Copper, yes. Green, absolutely. Gold, okay, yeah. That's kind of my point. Just experiment, find what works for you. They need to be impactful for you, because on top of making a strong intention for yourself, you also have to have purpose with all of your ingredients. Don't just throw something in because a book told you to. If it doesn't symbolize what you're after to you, then do not include it. It's just gonna muddy up the water, and you could be using something that's way more powerful for you in particular. So whatever you're using, whether you're making a charm bag or a money pot, or you're just, doing some candle magic, just make sure that you choose everything with intention and with purpose. No matter what those things, if you're using herbs, go based off of when you smell them, what do you think? When you see them, what do you feel? When you feel them, when you taste them. If you have never ever seen chamomile and you had to Google what it looks like, and you've never had chamomile tea, then why would that be impactful for your spell. So that's kind of my point. So now let's get on to this book. This is Llewellyn's Complete Book of Correspondences, a comprehensive and cross-referenced resource for pagans and Wiccans. I'll have a link to this down below so you can pick up a copy for yourself. It is a pretty big book, which is great. What this is basically just like a massive index for correspondences. It has a quick little introduction, which is very enlightening and fun to read. But what Sandra does is she breaks it down. So the first chapter is all about intentions, basically what you're looking to do with your spell. If you're doing a beauty spell, okay, let me show you. I'll probably take pictures of it and post it. So if you're doing a beauty spell, you can see it's all broken down right here. It's all right here, and it's so convenient. So that's just the first section. The next portions kind of break everything down in reverse. And so it has like the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom. What I think it's really useful for instance, I have a rabbit and he sheds all the time, but a few times a year he blows his coat. Sometimes I'll collect the clumps that he's shed and I'll save them. So if I'm just like, what do I do with this? I might look it up in here. That's why I highly recommend this book. It's super useful. However, it still goes along with everything I said earlier. Don't use it as a way to just make your craft easy, because shortcuts don't work in this. You don't want to be lazy about your witchcraft and just be like, sure, it says this, so I'll do that. You also don't want to go crazy. I mean, some of these have like 2 pages, almost 2 pages worth of correspondences. How are you can't include every single one, right? But it is a really good tool for starting research. You can look something up and then go, why does that correspond with that thing? And then look it up. Look it up in another book or look it up online. And then I might still stop and think, well, does that speak to me? And go from there. So I highly recommend this book. I will put that link down below, like I said. I think that's it for this video. So thank you all so much. Like, subscribe. You can contact me through comments, email, Instagram, both of which are, will I remember it this time? Bewitched. No, I did it wrong. Bewitching.Bemused. I can't. Bewitching.Bemused@gmail.com or on Instagram @Bewitching.Bemused. All right, guys, that's it for today. See you all soon.